All right, welcome. Today we're going to continue with the Corona Homeschool. We left off with the letter E, and so that leaves F to start with. So we're going to do today F through J. So that's the next 5 letters in the alphabet for cursive handwriting. So here we go. We're going to start with F. Are you ready, Max?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. So I'll use yellow, that'll show up the best. So of course we'll start with the capital F, okay? So to do that, you start up, now just to go over how the lines work again. There's a dot, it's a dotted line here in the middle. Each line represents a line on notebook paper, so that's 2 lines on notebook paper. 2 lines, 2 lines. So when writing, I want you to use 2 lines on lined notebook paper. So the first letter being F for today's lesson, we start up at the top, okay? Starting up at the top, and you come down, swoop back, and then a straight line like that, okay? So this letter is an actual lift off twice. So there are 3 strokes for the letter F, okay?
Uh-huh.
So the next stroke is the top, okay? Did you get that down? And then, so that is a capital F. Now the lowercase f, you start at the bottom, you come up all the way to the top, and then you come down below the bottom line, bring it back up, and then create your connection point for the next letter. So as we talked about in the first lesson, the whole purpose of cursive handwriting is to basically write an entire word without lifting your pen off of the paper. So each letter comes built in with a connection point. So to get to that F, that's your connection point. And to leave the F and go to the next letter, that's your next connection point. Okay?
Okay.
So if I were to write my name, it would be E. So we're using a letter we've already gone over. Okay? So that's the connection point, and you see them here, okay?
Okay.
So that's the goal of cursive, is to keep that pen on the paper. So that's the letter F. Let me just take a look and make sure we have it there. Yeah? Okay. So the next letter is G. Imagine that. And we'll go up here on the top line. Now, G, the capital G is just you don't leave the paper at all. It's not like the F where you're, 1, 2, 3. G is all one swoop. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
So you start at the bottom, you come up, and towards the top of the line here, you do a little loop, another little loop, then you come back down, come up, and then come across. So that gives you your connection point right there.
That doesn't look like a G, that looks like a bear waving his arms out.
It's, in addition to being G, it's a bear waving his arms out. But that's the G. So you start at the bottom.
You just have to put like 2 dots right there.
Yeah.
And then it looks like a bear waving his arms out.
Oh yeah, it does. But yeah, start at the bottom, come up, loop, loop, down, across the first line, and then over across where you come to your connection point.
Connection point.
Connection point.
If you wanted to do all caps with that, that's also the connection.
Now you'll notice the connection points are generally up.
At the bottom.
Well, the bottom, it's usually at the bottom in the beginning, but you want to try to get it up high so that you're not starting your letter down low. So I'll do another capital G over here on this next line. So we have G.
Also known as the bear waving its arms out.
Bear waving its arms out. And now we'll do a lowercase g, which is a real simple letter. So you're starting at the bottom because the lowercase g is generally going to have a letter in front of it. So you come up. And that's a lowercase g. So you start down low, you go up, keeping your pen right on the paper and trace over the initial circle that you've done, and then you come up and close that circle, you come down, and you create another loop.
I think lowercase g's are fun because that's how I normally write a G. Like, dude, it's like.
Yep, so that's a G, but you want to make sure you close that because that could be confused as a Y, because a lowercase y is very similar. If you don't close that, people are going to read it as a Y. So here's just a Y as an example. Okay, see how similar they are? So you got to always make sure you close that so people reading your work can differentiate between G and Y.
Okay.
All right? So, of course, you see the connection points here, just so you can see how all these letters tie together. This is the connection point.
Uh-huh.
So we'll move on to H. Okay?
Okay.
So H, you're up at the top. You go up and then down. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then this is a lift-off letter. So you lift off and you come back, you go to the next line down, come up, and then you do a little swirl and then come out to create a connection point. So the first line is just a little swoop and down, lift off, then you go and create the next line, trace back up, and then connect the two lines together with a little loop, and then you come out to your connection point. Okay?
Okay.
And lowercase h, you start at the bottom,
And then go up.
you go all the way up to the top, whoops, all the way up to the top,
That was a chalk fail.
down to the bottom of the line, create your hump, and there's a lowercase h.
Cat could be confused for EAT. Just remember that cat
Yeah.
could be confused for EAT.
So we got, thank you, we have h there. So again, lowercase h, start at the bottom, come up, make a loop, come down, and then make your hump. And then back out. All right. So are you ready for a little eye action?
Yep.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. All right. So for I, we're going to start right here. You ready? So you're on the middle of the two lines. Come over there. And there is an I.
That could be confused for an E.
Well, if you're not the reason you have this straight line here, actually, is to differentiate the uppercase I from the lowercase l. Okay? This line here is very important because people will read that as a lowercase l and not a capital I. Now, personally, when I'm writing, I don't use the cursive I because it is confusing. I usually just go like this. And I think that's acceptable generally for cursive, and then continue with the word. But if you're very careful and do this straight line and then basically make a lowercase l, then people will be able to tell the difference when they're reading. Now, a lowercase I is real simple. You're basically just you're starting at the bottom. Okay, are you ready for the lowercase? coming up, and then down, and then that one you lift off. Generally, when you're done writing an entire word, you'll come back, and this is where the phrase, cross your T's and dot your I's, comes in. Because generally when you're printing, you'll cross your T's and dot your I's as you go. But with cursive, you write the entire word, and then you go back and do the crossing and dotting. So, uppercase I, lowercase I. All right, let's go over J. Are you ready to do a J?
Yep.
Here we go. So, we start at the bottom here, okay? Come up, come down below the bottom line, and then come back up to create your connection point,
Alright.
okay?
Okay.
And then for lowercase j, you start at the bottom, you come up, you come down and you create a loop, and then you come back up to make your connection point.
Dot.
And then the little j gets a little dot. So it's very similar to the I, only that you're coming down and making a loop and then coming up to your connection point. So let's practice connecting some of these letters together. Okay?
Okay.
So let's see. Think of a word with the first letters that we can create.
Fat.
Fat. Well, we haven't done T, but we can definitely do the F and the A, and we'll just write out the T. So are you ready? Are you going to do this along with me? So to create the F, we're down here. We come up. We make a loop. We come down. Make another loop, connecting back at the. So everything's connecting together. Then you come out to your connection point with the A. Okay, then you're coming down, and then boom, connection point, and then up, tracing back down,
The T's easy. I know how to do it.
and then you cross your T. So you can see all the connection points right there. Here, I'll do them in green, so you can, connection point, connection point. Okay, can you think of another word to,
Death.
death?
No, death.
Oh, deaf. Yeah, that's perfect. That has all the letters we've gone over. So deaf, you start over here to make your D. Okay. And then E. Up and over to make your A, creating a little loop. And then we're going to go for the F, which is like this.
Now look up.
Well, you missed the A. It's D-E-A-F.
Oh.
All right. Can you think of
Did
another?
not know that.
Can you think of another word?
I've never actually wrote death before. Bad.
Bad. All right. Do you want to do a capital B or a lowercase b?
Lowercase.
Lowercase. All right. So bad. For the B, you start at the bottom. You come up. Bring it back over here to connect the circle. And we'll do the D. There's bad. Make sure the. Yep, that's very good. You just want to make sure you're getting that all the way over there. So that looks perfect. All right. So that was letters F through J. And thanks for watching. We'll come back and we'll go K through O in the next video. But keep practicing the first few letters in the alphabet, and the biggest thing to remember is just connection points. The whole purpose of cursive, the whole reason it exists is so that you can write faster by not lifting off. It's just a more efficient way to write. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Kom dan och sjuva, så du svetja.